So imagine you have to play an organ recital in 3 months. You have completely unfamiliar organ program chosen, about 60 or 50 new pages to learn, and you have planned to learn one page a day, right? So if you are consistent with your practice schedule, you are lucky and you can learn these pieces in 50 days, right? At least the musical text, and then will be more advanced stuff, memorization, and getting more fluent with tempos, and etc., right? So you plan in advance and you are sort of on schedule. But and of course you set the deadline, right? Deadline in 3 months, and you announced your program, you announced your recital. Everyone is that you know will show up in 3 months from now. Okay. What happens after about 90 days is that you get sick, for example, right? And you get sick with a flu for 2 weeks, let's say. Okay. How would you recommend people to behave if they are falling behind their organ practice in this situation?
Well, actually, the best, I think, advice would be, learn ahead. I don't think it's a good idea to learn like a page a day. It never works, because in life always accident happens and you will never, do as planned. So it's better if you, learn more pages per day at the beginning, so that, you would have that space in order something will happen.
Mm-hmm. Is it okay to learn a few pages of new music but still have in reserve old music also prepared? For example, half program would be new, half program would be old pieces.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
this would be less risky, I think.
Great. And imagine then after 2 months, instead of still putting together this recital program and going on schedule, you discover that, for example, you have to learn a little bit more new music. Okay, is it still possible to prepare on time?
Yes, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to double your efforts.
Double your efforts. Is it really necessary to learn only difficult organ music?
No,
Right.
difficult doesn't mean it's the best. Some easy pieces can sound nicely too.
Right. So, for example, 3 minute long piece for 3 pages can have tremendous amount of pedal work, right?
Sure.
But another 3 minute piece of 3 pages can have no pedals at all, right? And that is the choice you could make between the more moderate repertoire, moderate level, and between the more advanced level, right?
Yes.
So how do you advise people to really think about their abilities to play the difficult stuff? We always want to think that we are better than we are, right?
Sure.
I am a virtuoso, right? But in reality, I cannot really play 16 notes with my feet, right? For example, is there a principle that a person could really judge herself or himself whether or not he or she would be able to learn that piece?
Well, probably, just look at the music, and because you immediately will see the hardest spots right at the beginning and start learning from them. And if in a couple days you see that, there are places that you cannot, learn, so just, give up that piece.
Mm-hmm. How many mistakes you think is okay to make at the beginning if the piece is advanced, difficult, but still doable?
Well, it's hard to tell. I never counted my mistakes, so what do you think yourself?
Let me put it in another way. In one line, when you play the piece for the first time, very slowly, right? And it's not perfect, right? You make mistakes, right?
Yes.
And some mistakes are easy, sometimes are difficult, and if there are too many mistakes, that simply means that the piece is too difficult, right? And we should pick up another easier piece for the program. So what's the number of mistakes you think, hypothetically, of course, a person could count in that fragment, in one line, that he or she could say?
I would say one mistake per line.
Per line.
Sure.
In a slow tempo, half
Yes.
speed, right?
Yes.
All right. So that's a principle for you, to not to be too opportunistic about your performance, right? But still feel the reality check, right? Before your recital. And of course, as Ausra is telling you, plan ahead, because illness happens. You might get sidetracked, you might get,
Sure.
other responsibilities, for
Yes.
example, right? Somebody else in your family might get sick, right? Not necessarily you yourself, but your spouse, for example, your child, right? What would you do then if you didn't plan these things to happen during your practice, right?
Yes, because learning music, it's not such a thing that you can push forward a lot. You can do some of it, but not a lot.
Mm-hmm. And of course, if it's too stressful, if you feel the deadline looming, and you know that, for example, your child is sick, and plus your boss gave you 50 pages of reports to write, right? And your recital is in 2 weeks. This stressful situation is not healthy, right? So the only thing is that you can control probably is the planning of the recital. You plan well in advance, right? These things, your recital, your program. And then if these accidents happen, which always do, you probably will not be too stressed out about it, because
Sure.
you have some days, some weeks in reserve too.
Yes. I think all the program, for recital must be ready at least month ahead before your recital.
Right. It's a very good deadline to have. The real deadline is 30 days before the recital, where you play a dress rehearsal, right?
Sure.
In a concert tempo, you make as many mistakes as you want. But if you perform this thing for your friends, for example, get together in a church or in a concert hall or in your practice room, for example, get together with your friends, get some drinks, and you play for entire recital program for them without stopping, right? And that will tell you that in 1 month you could be ready.
Sure.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.